gentlemen, pollution in India's national capital is such an embarrassment and a health hazard that it should be the #1 agenda for our parliament. But we know that in parliament, politics and posturing are way more important than discussing grey and gloomy issues that impact citizens. But one MP from the south, sick of breathing toxic air, has suggested a novel idea. YSR Congress MP Madila Gurumurthy has now written to the Prime Minister and to the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, suggesting that at least 2 sessions of Parliament be moved down south to avoid Delhi's extreme heat, extreme cold and pathetic pollution situation. Now, Mr. Gurumurthy says the move will lead to more efficiency in Parliament's working. He also says it will serve as a symbolic gesture of national unity to show that Parliament is a body that represents the country, not just its capital. His views, as expected, have found support amongst many MPs who come from the south. Listen in.
As we all know, Delhi weather conditions. Now I think 500 ppm air quality. In summer time also there is extreme hot conditions here. So why don't we think about 1 or 2 parliament sessions to conduct in southern parts of the India? That's why I wrote letter to the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Parliamentary Affairs Minister. Wherever it may be, we are happy. Wherever it may be, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Andhra, Kerala, wherever it may be.
I support the Member of Parliament from Tirupati, Mr. Gurumurthy's suggestion. I think Parliament can definitely convene, if not twice, at least once in another part of India. That will bring our institutions closer to the people of India and will also bring in a better understanding and better national integration.
Firstly and foremost, it's always been our idea to even to have the Supreme Court in Tamil Nadu, right? Because it's a very, very big country. From here to go to Delhi is about 2,000 kilometers, 2,400 kilometers, right? Which is why we've always been insisting that in a federal country, if the functions are separated, right? So it'll be good for the citizens of the country. In fact, South Africa has 3 different capitals, and it's not just the pollution there is unpermissible level. I'm trying to say is going to give representation, like a symbolic representation, to even people in the south.
Ladies and gentlemen, the idea is novel, also in many aspects noble, but I have 3 questions. North, south, east, west. Can a seasonal shift anywhere, forget just the south, save our parliament from the seasonal washouts it witnesses? Just for example, in the first 5 days of this session, that is the winter session, the Lok Sabha functioned only for 54 minutes and the Rajya Sabha had an equally dismal report card. In 5 days it worked. It has only actually worked for 75 minutes. So ladies and gentlemen, for 54 minutes and 75 minutes in a week, do we shift our parliament sessions? Now, if you take a look at how much money has been spent in the last 5 days alone, this is some 45 crore rupees of the taxpayers' money down the drain in the last 5 days of the winter session. My second question. We have just spent 1,200 crore rupees on a brand new parliament. Do we really want to spend more money for a seasonal south shift? After all, shifting is a tedious and expensive process. And we make this effort for what? For washouts, for our parliament working for 50 minutes in 1 week. And my last question, ladies and gentlemen, if pollution is a pain for our MPs, it's a pain for our citizens as well. Shouldn't our elected representatives then be pushing the powers that be to clean up India's capital's air instead of bailing out on our citizens? So the question is this: is a seasonal shift of parliament a unity pitch or a escapist ploy? I'm going to be taking that question to my guest this evening. Joining us is Madila Gurumurthy, who's an MP of the YSRCP, someone who's made that suggestion in a letter he's written to the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and the Prime Minister of the country. Mr. Gurumurthy, thank you very much for joining us. Mohan Krishna is a former media advisor to ex-Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Bommai, represents the BJP. Deepak Reddy is national spokesperson of the TDP. Thank you very much. And Kanak Gupta is co-founder of My Right to Breathe, but he's representing Delhi's citizens and India's citizens on this debate this evening. Thank you very much. Mr. Gurumurthy, can you hear me? I want to start with you. So if you can hear me, I'll just start with you.
Good evening, Ji, but I'm not able to hear you clearly. It's voice.
Okay, I will speak louder and we'll try and see if we can fix your audio. Mr. Gurumurthy, there are many citizens who are asking why has an MP from the South written this letter to the Prime Minister and to the Parliamentary Affairs Minister? After all, MPs sit in Parliament, which has air purifiers and which has heaters. How does the heat or the pollution even impact our MPs? It only impacts citizens. Then why do you want to make the shift to the South, sir?
As we all know about Delhi pollution, why we are putting another burden to Delhi public regarding these parliament sessions we are conducting here? It is not good for Delhi people also, right? Almost air quality index last month, it will shoot up to 500. So in southern parts of the India, almost 30 to below 50. It is also long pending.
But Mr. Gurumurthy, Mr. Gurumurthy, you've just said that it will also help the people of Delhi if during pollution season, if Parliament shifts.
Yes.
How will it help the people of Delhi? Nothing. Even the Supreme Court has not been able to help the people of Delhi. How will a Parliament session moving to the South help the people of Delhi as far as pollution is concerned? Many people will say, dekhiye, MPs have run off from the pollution and gone down south to breathe in good heavenly air and left the citizens of Delhi in a lurch.
Why? Because all over the India come to Delhi, right? Because of the parliament sessions. So this is only suggestion. This is only suggestion from my side only. So if we conduct parliamentary sessions 1 or 2 in southern part of the India, it will good for the Delhi people and also parliamentarians also. The most of the parliamentarians above 60 years people only. If they stay long here, they will get COPD conditions. It will aggravate COPD conditions, lung infections and lung diseases and cancer and all. Why is necessary?
Okay. No, but Mr. Gurumurthy, the argument is, should elected MPs only be bothered about the health condition and the lungs of elected representatives and MPs and netas? What about common citizens? People, above the age of 60, or most MPs you're saying are above the age of 60. Also. They will go away, but what about the people of Delhi? 90-year-olds also stay here and have to breathe this air and they fall sick.
Yes. We are worrying about Delhi public people health condition also. Not for the MPs. This is we are considering about Delhi public also.
Okay.
Not only MPs.
Okay, so give me a minute.
Also
you have raised other points as well, and I'm going to come to those other points because you're saying it's good for national unity, but I want to first talk about pollution that you brought up. Kanak Gupta, the honorable MP from the South, from the YSRCP, is saying that, look, it may end up being good for the people of Delhi as well. Do you think it'll end up being good for the people of Delhi, or is it netas simply bailing out on our citizens कि तुम लोग भुगतो जो भुगतना है हम लोग चले?
So And when it comes to national integration and politics, etc., I'm not the qualified person to answer about that. But as a national integration issue, it probably sounds like a good idea. From a pollution perspective, it's very heartbreaking, Shreyaji. As a citizen of Delhi, I feel abandoned. I feel that, the lives and health and comfort of a few is more important than the life and comfort of the citizens. It will have a lot of economic impact as well, right? It costs money to shift parliament sessions from Delhi to down south or wherever else in the country. Why can't those resources be used for solving the air pollution problem for you and me? It's very heartbreaking to think that the parliamentarians would be abandoning us and going breathing fresh air while I'll be suffering, my family would be suffering, friends would be suffering. We all will face a lot of issues. I think pollution has to be tackled, on war front. We need to solve this problem. We cannot have an escapist attitude. I understand and respect the honorable parliamentarians' view that, this is a national integration issue as well. However, pollution has to be looked at from a different eye. I think probably pollution needs a better PR agent for us to take it more seriously. I don't feel very comfortable about being abandoned in the state of crisis, to be honest.
And Mr. Gurumurthy's idea is not the only thing that abandoned Delhi citizens. The fact is, India's environment minister was missing when Delhi's AQI was touching 900. He was sitting in Mumbai. We didn't hear a beep from him, or a blip from him, or a word from him. So as far as pollution is concerned, our netas in any case, Kanak Gupta, have abandoned us a long time ago because all they do is fighting. But Mr. Gurumurthy, would you want to respond to what a citizen of Delhi is saying, what Kanak is saying? That this is like abandoning citizens, that you can't deal with pollution, MPs can't deal with pollution. No one should, no one should be subjected to Delhi's pollution, not MPs, not netas, not regular citizens. But if you decide to migrate down south where the air is clean, the people of Delhi will feel abandoned, he says.
No. We are more concerned about Delhi pollution also. The stringent actions may be required to reduce the pollution in Delhi area. So we are all committed for that. But even in parliament sessions, so many members will come to Delhi. It will aggravate again. It will create another burden to this area. That's why we are concerned about.
But that's 500 MPs coming in. Mohan Krishna, would you want to come in and give us the BJP's point of view? Is this tedious? Is this too much to do? Where does the BJP stand on this? Where do you stand on it?
Good evening, Shreya. See, there are so many novel ideas in this country for many people. Everything cannot be implemented for one or other reasons. Basically, Mr. Gurumurthy is talking about having a session down south. My question to Mr. Gurumurthy is, and Mr. Karti Chidambaram was talking earlier, that it's a very good for a national integration and all. When Congress was in power for 70 years or 65 years, why did they not do that then? It should have been initiated 60 years back. Had they had any future plans for the down south? No. Today you are talking. It cannot be implemented today for several other reasons. One point I buy your one point of view is that it is a escapist way of going it. We have a climatic change happening throughout the world. And this is the time that people of the country should stand with the government, and strict regulatory acts should be brought in and laws should be brought in for curbing the pollution rather than taking away. See, as you rightly said, 1,200 crores has been spent on new parliament building. We have in Karnataka, we have. Hello?
Hello? I can hear you, Mr. Krishna. I can hear you loud and clear. Continue.
In Karnataka, we have a system called winter session in Belgaum. Even I have attended three sessions in Belgaum. You know that it's a huge expenditure, basically. Whole system has to be shifted to Belgaum. The question is, what is the outcome of that? Zero. You cannot discuss anything.
Correct.
You
What is the
cannot
outcome of it?
What is the outcome of
I
it?
agree.
There's
I
nothing
agree.
in there's
No,
nothing
I
in
agree. That we have
Secondly-
now as citizens, you're right, almost got used to the fact that in Parliament, 9 crore rupees every day of the citizens' money will be wasted. Because 9 crore rupees is what it takes to hold sessions of Parliament every day. Which means in 5 days, that's about 45 crore rupees gone down the drain. Now, if you have to incur all that expenditure to move a Parliament session down south, and the same thing is going to happen. Honestly, what is the point? But Mr. Mohan Krishna, to the point you make about the fact that for 75 years, India's Parliament has functioned in the national capital, the argument to that, sir, is that the Prime Minister has been very vocal about taking big events, big meetings out of the capital. He says India is not just Delhi. India is also Ahmedabad. India is also Chennai. India is also Kanpur. For example, he's hosted some of the world's biggest leaders, not in Delhi, but outside Delhi, in Mahabalipuram or in Ahmedabad. The Army Day Parade and the Air Force Day Parades have now started taking place outside the national capital. So to say that it has been held here for 75 years, therefore we cannot move it, Mr. Krishna, will not cut much eyes with much people. But Deepak Reddy, as national spokesperson of the TDP, when Mr. Gurumurthy says that this will be good for India's national unity as well, that the people of the South will feel closer to Parliament and closer to parliamentarians and know that the Parliament of Delhi, of India is not just Delhi, but it is the South as well. Do you buy that point?
Shreya, there are two aspects to this. One is the Delhi pollution aspect and then the sentiment of the people of the South. Let me just start off with the pollution aspect. My son is actually going to come to Delhi in December to work in the Supreme Court under a senior advocate for a month. And my wife is absolutely worried about his health, what might happen with the Delhi weather. So I think this is a wake-up call for the parliamentarians, especially the people in the opposition, to see to that the parliament functions and discuss on things that actually matter to the people. Okay, now coming to the southern aspect. If you see the politics of southern India, there has been a degree where some of the political parties and the people feel that they are alienated in some way or other, and they're not part of the mainstream. So this kind of a political agenda has ran in the past. So probably to address that, it is not a bad idea to have a session here so that there can be better national integration and people can feel that, yeah, they also matter. The southern people also matter. Like, for example, the President of India, for 2 weeks every year, is stationed in Hyderabad. So this is going on right from the days of our independence. So why not? If something is done for 75 years, why should we follow that? Whatever makes sense to the people, whatever is more appealing to the people, we can discuss on that. And today, if you see all the leaders who have commented on this proposal, they all were happy. Yeah, we would feel a little respected, and there would be better integration, is what they said. And now we anyway have a paperless, parliaments and legislatures. So we can look at it because the people would feel happy in the south. And as far as Chandrababu Naidu ji is concerned,
Okay, but
we haven't taken an official stand on this, but we would definitely welcome any move which respects the people's sentiment.
no, so the point is, Mr. Reddy, I appreciate you saying that the party has not taken an official position on the issue. But if the South says it's feeling alienated and will bring India closer to the South if a parliament session or two is moved down south and infrastructure is created, my point is that the Northeast could make the same argument and say, if the South feels alienated, then the Northeast feels even more isolated and alienated, the tyranny of distance having a lot to do with it, many cultural differences having much to do with it. So they could make the same argument. My point is, to my mind, it's going to be a complete waste of money, because irrespective of whether a few parliament sessions are shifted down south or to the northeast, Mr. Reddy, fact is the hona to wahi hai. Ladai, jhagda, screaming, shouting, disruptions, adjournments, and waste of the citizens' money. So is there any point? National integration and all are novel ideas and noble ideas, but we know exactly how things are going to play out, sir.
That's a sad reality. But I strongly feel, Shreya, the way things are going on, the people in the opposition who are responsible for all this chaos and not being sensitive to the needs of the people would not be coming into the next parliament. People would reach a point where they said enough is enough. They're not just lowering the standards of the parliament, they're lowering themselves also. The people are watching. So in due course of time, people would rise up against this kind of attitude of the opposition, especially.
Okay, I don't have a representative of the opposition on the panel, but to play the devil's advocate, Mr. Reddy, the opposition can very well argue, what are we asking for? We are just asking for debates that matter to the people of this country and matter to the current milieu be debated. And that is something that the government is stalling, which is why the disruptions. So, hamari galti kya hai?
Shreya, you started off with the Delhi pollution, and I told you that my wife is very worried to send my son there. Isn't this a serious topic? Can't they discuss on this? The lives of the people aren't they important? And similarly, such grave subjects are across the country. So the opposition cannot say that they want to discuss only on the point they want to talk. And once the speaker or the chairman makes a ruling, that is the convention of the House, which is going on for the last 70 years. So they have to respect that. So here, if you see Rahul Gandhi after the election results, if you see his comments, I would like to remind all the viewers, the statement which came out from his mouth was, now we have enough numbers to stall the parliament. So the mentality of Rahul Gandhi and the opposition is not to run the parliament, not to conduct the parliament, but to stall it. Now, this is something what the people of India should take note of and give a fitting reply to such irresponsible parliamentarians.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, just to let you know that one of the things that is on the opposition's agenda, and this is the Aam Aadmi Party's agenda, is pollution. Kanak Gupta, you've heard all the politicians, you've heard Mr. Gurumurthy, you've heard what the opposition is to his ideas, which may be right-minded, but a little off-color, many could say, because this is almost like our parliamentarians saying Delhi can suffer its pollution, we'll just go where the air is clean. But you've heard everyone. What would you rather that our politicians do? The winter session is underway. Pollution levels in the national capital right now are slightly under control, which is why they are not hitting headlines. But I say wait and watch. Ho jayega wo bhi. What would you say that our parliamentarians rather do than disruptions, or suggest that we move down south so that we can escape the pollution?
So this is where we've come to. The AQI is about 250, 300, and we say that it's not very high. That's the level we've come to, Shreyaji, that, acceptable air pollution level is about 50 worldwide and 250, 300, and we are saying that it's absolutely all right. It's not hitting headlines. It should hit headlines right now as well. The solution does not lie, in my mind, clearing out. The solution lies in cleaning the air. I believe as a common citizen that, governance cannot be nomadic. Governance has to be stable. I think it's a great idea to have sessions all over the country, not just down south, but then you'd need to organize it in an organized manner and not just come as a surprise. I just think, and what I said right up front, that when you do it during what you now term as a pollution season of New Delhi, I feel it's abandonment. I think it's escapism. And I feel very sad if it happens right now. Why not we solve the problem? Why not the politicians actually sit together, not fight, not on your channel and not in the parliament, but actually discuss, get experts, scientific resources, and work on the pollution issues. Make sure that the Delhi air is livable. 3 years down the line, set a target that, we'll be able to clear it out a bit and then have sessions all over. I'll welcome the move, wherever be it. But right now, I think on war front, please solve this pollution problem. It cannot be, a government versus a opposition problem. It's everyone's problem. The city is suffering. We are not living. We are dying every single day. It's not safe. And how can it be safe for children if it's not safe for parliamentarians? it's a big responsibility on all of us.
Okay, Kanak Gupta, we'll leave it there for the moment. This was a good discussion. Deepak Reddy, thank you very much for speaking to us. Mohan Krishna, thank you very much. And Mr. Gurumurthy, thank you very much for speaking to us. So here's the deal on behalf of a Delhi citizen. Help clean up Delhi's air. Make a noise about that and write letters about that. And once Delhi's air is clean enough, you can shift parliament sessions wherever you wish to. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us this evening.